objectives. At the end of the lecture, you will be able to explain the concepts of present value, explain the difference between uneven cash flows and annuities, determine the types of present value analysis, apply the time value of money techniques on financial transactions. Lecture outline. We will focus on present value analysis. Under present value analysis, we'll cover single sum analysis, multi-year cash flows. Under multi-year cash flow, it will be uneven cash flows, ordinary annuity, and annuity due. Present value analysis is the process of determining the value today of a future sum. This process involves discounting of cash flow and the inverse of compounding of cash flows. We know we have present value and future value. We know that the present value compound, okay, and we'll get the future value, so that we'll get the future value. If it's the other way around, we will find the present value, we discount the future value to find the present value. Discounting of cash flow. The deviation of the present value formula is, we know the future value formula is this. What I need to do is to move the 1 plus k over, and or we can write it in terms of the other way is the table format. So we take note, okay, there are two ways to find the answer. One is the formula. Okay, one is the 1 plus k formula. The other one is the table format method. So for here, we refers to table PVIF table. Single sum. The determination of the present value of a single future cash flow. This is the formula for the table. Take note, the above equation could be used to calculate any other variables as long as there are 3 other variables are given. As long as the 3 other variables are given. So basically there are 4 variables. You have the 3 known variables, you can find the 4th unknown one. Uneven cash flow here. The present value of an uneven stream of cash flow could be obtained by determining the present value of each of the future cash flow. So basically you find the first PV1 followed by PV2 and PV3. You got to do them separately, okay, individually. And you add up the individual present values together. So add up together to find the total present value. Annuities. A series of equal cash flow occurring over equally spaced interval of time. So this is the timeline for annuities. Please take note that all the cash flows are of equal amount. Ordinary annuity. Annuity for which payments or receipts occur at the end of each period. So look at the timeline here. We look at year 1 period. 0 is the beginning of year 1 and 1 is the end. So for ordinary annuity, occurs at the end of each period. So at end of year 1 period. To calculate present value of an ordinary annuity, same method could be used as for uneven cash flow. It means that uneven cash flow method you have learned can be applied here too. Illustration 9. Ordinary annuity. So take note, this time out the present value will be with the additional A, right? We use the additional A for to denote for annuity. So take note, ordinary annuity is at the end of each period. So for example, the end of period 1 will be here. Same thing for end of period 2, end of period 3, and end of period 4. Take note, all the cash flow will be at the end of each period. Annuity due. Annuity for which payments or receipts occur at the beginning of each period. I stress again, this is at the beginning. So look at year 1 period. 0 is the beginning and 1 is the end of year 1. So the payment occurs at the beginning. I stress again, annuity due occurs at the beginning of each period. The present value of an annuity due uses the formula. Take a look at the formula. It's very similar to ordinary annuity. Both formulas is very similar, except the difference is that you have times 1 bracket 1 plus k. So this is the only difference. Illustration 10. Using the example as in illustration 9, but with the assumption that all cash flows are received at the beginning of each period. I stress again, it's at the beginning. Let's draw a timeline here. We're finding PVA. So the beginning period of 1 is at 0. So you have cash flow at the beginning of period 1. Next, the beginning of period 2, beginning of period 3, and beginning of period 4. Ordinary annuity, the cash flow occurs at the end of the period. So it does not have any cash flow at the beginning. But for annuity due, the cash flow is at the beginning of the period. So it does not have cash flow at the end. Ordinary annuity versus annuity due. This is a formula for ordinary annuity, and this is a formula for annuity due. Please compare the two formulas. What is the difference? There's one slight difference here. It's 1 bracket 1 plus k in red. So take note, it's quite simple. Okay, the formulas are similar except there's a for annuity due has an extra bracket 1 plus k. Annuity due has less 1 discounting period. These are the key difference for this between these two annuity. PV formulas. Okay, this is a summary of PV formulas. These are PV formulas we have learned so far.